OTAs yesterday. Optimism is high that Harbaugh and second-year quarterback Jackson Dart can lead the Giants out of the doldrums and past the struggles of the last decade. Here's Coach John Harbaugh on how the Giants can turn things around.
That's what we got to be focused on, the very next thing. You know, your life is lived going forward, not looking back. So, but it's understood looking back. So let's understand where we've come from and let's get ready for the next challenge, which is really our next game. But it's also our next day to be as prepared as we can be for that next game.
News also broke after practice that GM Joe Schoen is being signed to a multi-year extension. We welcome in Jason McCourty, the great Kimberly Martin. Joe Schoen, all this, what was your reaction to that news that he gets the extension after all that talk of whether he's going to be the guy?
I wasn't surprised. Now, maybe because I'd covered the Giants for the draft, so I'd spent time in that building. So I wasn't surprised that he got an extension because he was on an expiring contract. You were not going to have him go through this year without that. I will say, I don't know if he's out of the woods completely. Like, this is a guy who has put pieces in place, pieces that were attractive to John Harbaugh to even want this job. But it all depends how this team does this year. I think that we still have to see. They still have to add. And I will say this. When I talked to Joe Schoen, he talked about how he made mistakes early, right? You make the playoffs and you assume, oh, maybe we're closer than you think. And you kind of deviate from your initial slow, long-range plan. Now they have an opportunity where they have new pieces, but he feels like we're finally going to get out. We're going to get over the hump. Like we got through the muck, and now we have the coach in place, pieces in place, and now it buys him time to really build this team out.
You live in the market. Everyone's like super excited about the Giants. What's a realistic, successful year for Harbaugh in year one?
I think you talk about Joe Schoen, him getting a contract extension. It's building a foundation with John Harbaugh. You look at the last few years for the Giants. At one point, there was planes flying over the stadium with signs out. It had kind of hit a real dark point. So at this point, for John Harbaugh, you're trying to instill a different mentality and a new identity for this team. A lot of the success this year is going to be predicated on what kind of leap that Jackson Dart can take. He talked about yesterday, Brian Callahan, his quarterback coach, coming in, and probably the first meeting they had, or one of the first ones, was sitting down and talking to him about situations, when to get down, when to protect himself. He talked about learning things that he's never learned before at the quarterback position and changing plays at the line of scrimmage. So for the Giants, if you can go out there and find success, and Jackson Dart makes a huge leap in year two, that is success. It's not going to be only the wins and losses, but how this team builds and gets better.
Yeah, this is just in from Jordan Renan, who is our Giants reporter for ESPN.com. Giants defensive lineman Roy Robertson-Harris tore his Achilles yesterday. And this is also in the wake of Dexter Lawrence being traded away. This is the kind of stuff you're going to go through. What does a Harbaugh coach team maybe handle this differently than some other teams in the past?
I mean, listen, John Harbaugh, the great thing about him is the experience. He's literally seen it all in all those years in Baltimore. I think he's bringing renewed energy, competition, and they've got some horses on that defensive front. Like, they're excited about what they have, but I think it really comes down to, like you said, Jackson Dart. He's got to toe that line, that Josh Allen line, I call it. Like, play with that aggression, play with that style, but also take care of yourself. Because if he's not on the field, it doesn't matter you adding Arvell Reese and other guys. It really is about the quarterback.
The NFL gave the Giants 2 primetime games to start the season. At home on Sunday night, then in L.A. against the Rams on Monday night in Week 2. Let's go to Cleveland, where the Browns have begun their OTA offseason workouts under first-year head coach Todd Monken. And although most of the players are there, one guy isn't. Here's what Todd Monken had to say about his superstar and whether he has had a chance to speak with Myles Garrett.
Just for the record, have you had any face-to-face with Garrett yet?
Myles?
Yeah.
No.
I love Todd Monken. I'm so sorry.
Monken is something. Speaking of
what
something.
What other Myles could you be?
Myles? J-Mac, is this something that Garrett?
No. Myles Garrett's in his 10th year on his 5th different head coach. It is not the player's responsibility to usher in the new head coach and make sure everything is smooth. It's a red carpet. Hey, I'm here. I'm showing up. I'm fired up. It's not his job to do that. If Myles Garrett wants to spend his offseason somewhere else during optional workouts, and I think Monken answered it that way because everyone knows Myles Garrett hasn't been there. So when would they have had time to have face-to-face conversation? He didn't say I haven't heard from him or I haven't talked to him. They just haven't talked face-to-face.
they haven't met face to face. We're talking.
Now, he's busy. He's busy. Myles has good reason. He's out with his girlfriend, Chloe Kim.
Hey,
Olympics.
roll the
photos.
He's at
Love
all
will
these
do some-
awards.
There we go.
Myles is living his best life. But I can tell you, in that
My
building.
dog found love. I'm happy for him.
In that building, they feel very much like this is Myles. A year ago, he was not there for this portion of the off-season program. Now, if he's not there at mandatory minicamp, guys, then we have something to worry about. But for right now, internally, they're not stressing it.
June 8th is mandatory minicamp. I do think it's something.
Yeah.
I think it's your star player, new coach, new defensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator. I do think it's something, and I know we were talking trades throughout last offseason. I'm curious to see how this one goes. I am. I think there's something to. I think it would be nice to meet your head coach.
It would.
That time will come. I'll see you June 8th, man.
June 8th, sir.
I can tell you about all my voyages I've been on over the past 2
Living a
months.
good life. Coming up, the Knicks show.
Dance for Aaron Rodgers, who met with reporters yesterday and confirmed this season in Pittsburgh will be his last. The four-time MVP said Mike McCarthy's hiring had a big impact on his decision to return to Pittsburgh, especially after the departure of Mike Tomlin.
He said he was stepping away. That was an emotional moment just because we all love him so much and care about him. And, I thought that that was probably it for me in Pittsburgh. But when the decision was made to hire Mike, I started opening my mind back up to coming back. It was surreal, honestly, sitting in the meeting, the first 8 o'clock meeting on Monday. Took me back to being a 22-year-old kid sitting in Green Bay listening to Mike's first meeting in 2006. So it's fun. I mean, it's like a pinch me moments.
So he goes back sort of to where it all began for him with Mike McCarthy, and subsequently would say this season will be his last season in the NFL. Michael, I mean, you've been pretty strong in your opinions on all of this. What was your number one? He talked about so many things yesterday. What were your biggest takeaways?
Well, there's a takeaway from the career, and there's a takeaway from all the overstatement about what he still means. The career is one of the great careers in NFL history. 4 MVPs.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know it only resulted in 1 Super Bowl championship, and we tend to just forget people the more years we go. It would be sad if we forget Aaron Rodgers in 10 years. People act like John Elway didn't play the game. And I hear, he's the great, pump the brakes. We don't need to exaggerate it. He had a great career that's going to result in the wearing of a gold jacket in the Hall of Fame, as should be. That's set aside. And now this notion that the Steelers and he are relevant to what? Not even in their own division. Aren't they going to be the 3rd team chosen in their own division behind Baltimore for sure and likely Cincinnati? I'm not sure I'm buying that. But, okay, it's not relevant anymore. There's 20 other storylines going into summer training camps that will be more important than Aaron Rodgers at this age. He is not LeBron James or playing up to that level. He's not Tom Brady. We don't need to overstate what he is now to appreciate what he has been for all these years.
That's fair. So you would be stunned. Again, they won the division last year, even though it kind of didn't feel like it.
It didn't matter.
The division sort of lost itself, and they managed to remain on top. You don't see any scenario where something crazy happens this year.
Well, there could be. There injuries we know in any. Last year, nobody had the Bears going from last to first. No one had that.
Right.
Okay? So, yes, Pittsburgh is capable of that. Do I expect that? No. And I said going into. Can Aaron Rodgers have that kind of year? Nothing at the end of the year, Greeny, suggested the way we saw him playing at that stage. That doesn't resemble the Aaron Rodgers we saw for the first 15 years in no way, shape, or form. And the Steelers have that kind of roster that they can just plug him in and have him as a B- C+ quarterback and win.